Hey, what's up, y'all? In today's video, we will be talking about 7 things that therapists want to consider as to why they need to proclaim their spot in the digital product space.
'Cause I'm beautiful, yeah. When I'm with you, no question that this girl can hate me. 'Cause I'm beautiful.
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Dr. TK, clinical psychologist and therapist business coach. So, in today's video, I will be going over 7 different things so that you, as a therapist, can proclaim your spot in the digital product space because we do not have to be tied down to a desk. So, make sure that you have your pen and paper ready. All right. So, number one is that, of course, therapists have unique expertise. And so we didn't go to college to learn the basic things. We learn how to observe people. We learn how to read people. We learn how to listen to someone talk for about 45 minutes and then basically reflect back, parrot back what we heard and help them see with an intake how they became the person that they are today. Now, you really think that that's not a gift. Now, I know that sometimes it's hard to turn it off when we're around people and we don't want to understand how they became the person that they are today. However, you have a unique skill set that organically allows you to help people see what the actual real problem is. And also, you have guided tools that are proven through education and internship hours and a job potentially, depending on your background, of what that you are teaching them actually works and that your stuff is impactful. So, I want you to really think about it. What are some things that I talk to my clients about, that I talk about in my content, that doesn't require someone to see a therapist, but it's good information, that it's good education that I can put into a guide, a ebook, right? And so I can think about plenty of times that when I start creating digital products, no lie, I would pull out my phone, it would be on the couch. And I would take notes like on my phone. My clients knew that I wasn't texting. I wasn't a person where I like to write a lot. And I honestly didn't take notes throughout most of the session. But when there was something very profound that was said, specifically me with these acronyms and these analogies, I mean, I be coming with it, bars, right? And oftentimes I would say, oh my gosh, that was so good. Let me write that down. And it will be like, it was good, write it down. So the clients would be super juiced up. Now, what you could imagine that can happen over time is that if you have so many aha moments, couldn't that be a quote book if you want a physical book? Could it be some affirmations that you could put inside of a guide or an ebook or upload it to an audio podcast? I mean, come on, you say things to people all the time that are so transformational to them, but probably so basic to you. And the reason why it's so basic to you is because you've been doing this for so long that it's so normal and it's so natural. All right. So remember that you hold a unique level of expertise like no other. All right. Now, number two, okay, as why the therapists need to go ahead and let people know that you deserve to be in the digital product space as well, is that you deserve not to have to see everybody one-on-one to make a significant impact. You deserve, just like every other entrepreneur, to have multiple streams of income. We live in a world, but I mean, it's in the Bible. You should not be relying on just putting all your eggs in one basket. Now, what I will say as a disclaimer is that I'm a real big advocate of not trying to start multiple streams of income at the same time. I use the analogy always of a boat. If you don't want to be on a boat, you could be on a yacht. But bottom line is, on this boat, you have to remember that you might hit an iceberg. You might hit some things where then you have holes in your boat. And the question is, if the holes start to put water on your boat, can you quickly plug them in? Do you have systems or people that you can help plug them in? What I'm referring to is ebbs and flows in your business, whether that is new clients, new customers, new money, ebbs and flows with finances. Somebody gets pregnant, they have to go out on leave. A lot of natural things can happen around you that will take you out. And the last thing you want, at least for your future version of yourself, is for you to only rely on honestly what you went to school for, which is to only be trained to do a certain modality of treatment, one-on-one, group, family. And then, of course, you have internship hours, you have a job, you might have private practice, where then you are afforded the opportunity to learn how to do other things. And then that can brand your expertise. But in the beginning, we are conditioned to sit in a room or sit online these days one-on-one. But I really want you to ask yourself, is that where you want your impact to stop? That will lead you to burnout. Okay. All right. So, number three is that, to be fully transparent, it is your time to step into abundance. Okay. It is your time. We as therapists are tired of being overworked. We are tired of being undervalued and underpaid. We are tired of people not really seeing us as an essential provider until 2020. Okay. And so it is your time to say, you know what? I can create my own space if I desire into the digital product space. And I can also have ebooks. I can have courses. If I want to get the proper training and the proper coaching, I can have my own coaching business. Why? Because you are a walk of life. I say that everybody has their own walking testimony. Right now, you may be going through something, but I'm sure as everything flourishes and gets better, at the end of the tunnel, there's a big old light. And at the end of that light, when you're ready, you can actually use what you've been through, depending on what it is, of course, to be able to share it to teach other people how to overcome either that or something similar. Okay. So it is your time to step into abundance and start taking control of your future. All right, so let me go ahead and interrupt my own little episode. All right. So if you are new here, hey, I'm Dr. TK. I would love to have you back. So whether you are new or returning, if you have not yet subscribed to the podcast, to my YouTube channel, go ahead and do that right now. Click the subscribe button, do the little thumbs up so that this platform can know that you dig in this information to go ahead and send some other like-minded people like you right on up over here because I already love your energy. Now let's go ahead and get back into today's episode. All right, y'all, let's step into number 4. More therapists equals more impact. And so you really want to think about this. When you claim your space in the digital product market, you make mental health resources available for way more people, way more of the public, more people across state lines. I mean, heck, more people across country lines. And I really want you to think about how much value that you've poured into multiple communities that you've served. I mean, we done like 3,000 plus hours. You don't think that that's valuable? One thing that I saw in my online community yesterday was that someone said that they sometimes forget how valuable they are. And I said, okay, let's slow down this conversation. What I would like you to do is I want you to go print out your last resume, even if it's like 3 years old. I mean, you got work on there. Print out your last resume. Put it up on a wall, page by page. And I want you to look at that resume and tell me that you're not highly qualified. You are highly qualified to do whatever you want, when you want to do it, of course, with the proper training and proper mentorship, education, or coaching, right? But at the end of the day, you dictate how you want your life, I'm going to say, to end in terms of when you're on your last chapter, when you look back. This is why they say the cemetery is the richest place on earth, because there are so many people that die and wish that they shoulda, coulda, woulda done something. Why would you wait until you get older to figure that out? Why wouldn't you do that right now? As long as you woke up, as long as you're breathing right now, you got time, room, and space to do it all. So if you want to have a digital product, all I ask is that you build one at a time. You make sure that you build out the launch. You make sure that you build out the market for it. And you make sure that you make it a viable product, which means that it's making you money. But I'm just letting you know, as a provider, you can make a larger impact with even just one digital product. All right. Number 5, one of my favorites, you deserve financial freedom. Okay. So what does financial freedom truly mean, at least according to my personal definition? Some people may see financial freedom as I'm making all this money. But financial freedom to me is being able to use money as a tool to get what I would like to get that would make my life more fun, more comfortable, and more abundant. So being financially free means when it's there, if I'm traveling with my family and it makes sense, let's fly first class. If we're going and we're staying at a regular hotel, let's upgrade it to a better hotel. If I'm going out to eat with my family on Sunday dinner, I don't want to go to IHOP. Let's go to a sit-down restaurant where it feels abundant. Or matter of fact, let's go ahead to a 5-star restaurant. It's a special occasion or it's just a regular day. Financial freedom for my children. You want to be in sports every 6 weeks? We going to create the time, because time freedom also allows me to hire in my business so that I can delegate time. And guess what digital products do? They can sell when I'm at my son's game. I can open my phone and see sales being made. Now tell me, do you want that type of financial freedom? Now, of course, it takes work to get there. Okay. It's not going to happen overnight. But for some, it might, depending on your brand, depending on your niche, depending on your expertise, and depending on your, honestly, like resilience and bounce back. Because again, there's going to be ebbs and flows in business. And sometimes you just ain't going to feel like doing nothing. I've had plenty of those seasons. I mean, heck, I probably have a day like that every single week. But I think about my end goal. I look at my child. I look at what I want for our family, what I want for our legacy. When I'm no longer here, I even feel like having my podcast is a legacy for my child to say, like, dang, my mama did that. She motivated me. He don't have to be in my field, because what I'm talking about here is abundance mindset. Even though we're talking about therapists with digital products, at the end of the day, this is a carve out to who I am authentically. I'm authentically a motivator, a cheerleader. This is why for me, it was very seamless and it was fun to cross over from going to school to become a psychologist to teaching to then coaching and mentoring. Mentoring and coaching, two different things. Coaching is I'm going to be asking you high quality questions so that you can come up with the answer. And then I will mentor you through the process. Those are two different things, two different tasks. But at the end of the day, I believe that you deserve financial freedom. All right, number 6, of course, is the obvious. We've already stated it, but let's just go ahead and say it again. The world deserves to have you beyond one-on-one sessions. Let me say that again. The world deserves to have you beyond one-on-one sessions. So let me ask you, have you ever had a vision of doing something more than one-on-one services? And you probably like, heck yeah, every day. So then why are you allowing the vision to perish? Why are you allowing the vision just to dissipate in thin air and go into the cemetery when you're no longer here? It doesn't make sense. You have multiple gifts. What was his name in psychology? I think it was like Gardner. He talked about like the multiple different levels of intelligence. And of course, in psychology, if you study Psych 1, because I taught that forever, I would teach my students that there are different levels of intelligence. And what most theorists did is they just built off of one another. But that's what personal development is. That's what our educational system is. Somebody said it. Somebody said, I like that or a piece of it, and I'm going to build more on top of it. So I want you to do the same thing. You've done one-on-one therapy. You have a gift of whatever you do, your gift of the gab, your special sauce with your therapy clients. Can you take just a small percentage of that and put it in a digital product for maybe the same type of client, but maybe someone isn't ready to go to services? Maybe somebody can use your book as more of a post treatment when they do therapy with anyone, because they just need additional tools. How many of us have went to Barnes and Nobles or on Amazon.com and we look for self-help books, where self-help books came from the field of psychology? So why aren't you using your gift and placing it into a digital product? Now you may be saying, oh my God, I'm already tired. I work too many hours. I'm already burnt out. I don't have time. No, you have time for what you're going to choose to make time for. Okay. All right, lastly is number 7. I just simply want you to claim your space in the creative area, okay? You can become a digital product creator if you want to. So I'm gonna do a little bit of storytelling time, right? I didn't realize that I was a digital product creator before I came on. So one example, because there are plenty, is I was at my first practicum site in my doctoral program. When I would see the kids, I would start making up, I was at high school, I start making up these therapeutic activities, and I would go on Word, not Google Doc back then, but like the Word, Microsoft Word, and I would type up these activities if I did it with one kid, because I would think to myself, somebody else wants this, somebody else is going to need it. And I'm not really big on repeating myself, especially create no homework assignment multiple times. So the kids clearly liked the paperwork. And in a high school back then in the early 2000s, or maybe 2008, 2009, primarily because they didn't have like the laptop and they already have physical paper homework. So I would give them the activities. So one day, somebody lets the whole group know that I have a whole binder that was pink with all of my homework activities, my end of treatment activities, how to get them to talk to me through their intake activities. And I had broke them up into different diagnoses, including like the treatment plan book, just like carving out certain pages and putting that in there because I didn't want to be flipping through all these pages, right? That's why people come to you for a gift, is that they don't want to have to watch 5,000 videos. They rather you just give them the answer in like 15 minutes. That's why we catch 15-minute videos, right? So what ended up happening is everybody was like, oh my God. Now they spoke this over my life in 2006. And they said, yo, you're going to have a book one day. This could be a book. Can I make some copies for my clients? And I'm like, sure. Right. So later on, I was doing the same thing for pre-doc and post-doc internship. And then all of a sudden, one of my friends invited me to a marketing event. Some of y'all may have heard the story before, but ultimately I'm sitting at a table and everybody at the table got a book except me. So I sat still. They were playing some music. I visualize well when there's music and for whatever reason, noise in the background. And I literally saw a file cabinet of an activity, a folder of what I just did with a premarital couple in services. I didn't even call it coaching back then, right? It was just counseling, but there was no insurance used. So they saw me 6 times. I locked them into a container of 6 sessions at private pay rate. And I started creating another type of journal with them. And I would give them the handout and they would go home and do it. I would type it up when they're in the office and say, all right, or I would email it to them or something. And I would say, all right, come back with these answers and we'll talk about them next week. And then we'll move on to another section. Guess what? That became my very first physical book. I will make sure to pop it up here on the screen. If you want to learn how to have mature conversations with your partner, whether you are cohabitating in a long-term relationship or you're married already or pre-married, there are instructions of how to guide you through the conversation. It is a really good activity that you and your partner can do. Everybody gets a separate book because people be changing their answers when you have to answer the questions out loud, right? And I kid you not, this was by far one of the biggest flexes that I had in my private practice. But what did I do? I diversified my income and I put myself in the creative space because that physical book at one point turned into an ebook. Then that just opened up my eyes to all the things that are possible online and outside of one-on-one therapy. So I'm going to link up that Foundations book for relationships, just in case you live it through your singleness or you want a relationship or you're married and you want to just start opening up the doors to conversational topics that most people don't have until they have problems, right? Or maybe you are a therapist, service provider, or healer, and you have a lot of ideas, but you're like, how would this look if I want to do something similar that I do in therapy, but like in an ebook? Then I want you to click the link below and I want you to get my 60 digital product ideas for therapists, healers. Okay. And it's going to give you some scripts of what you can use as inspiration to start your digital product journey. And if you want the whole thing, like, girl, I already got my idea. I'm ready to launch my digital product. I'm not even a therapist. Or matter of fact, I don't even want to do therapist stuff, but I got something good and I want to put it in the marketplace. I actually want to launch my ebook. I want to learn how to market it. I have a digital product idea. I want to do master classes and I want to put it in the marketplace. I want to have a coaching program one day, but I know that I need foundational methods in order to put my framework together. I need to know how to do basic email marketing. I need to know how to launch it through certain phases and make it viable, get clients. Then I would encourage you, check out my Align Marketing Academy. It is a community, not just an academy. It is a hybrid program where you get live tools and access to me along with our entire group of entrepreneurs. No titles, just entrepreneurs, right? But then you also get a beautiful portal that walks you A through Z with swipeable files, templates, launch checklists, so you don't have to think that much, right? And I will take you from A to Z of launching your digital product with support. That's the Align Marketing Academy. So make sure that you check out all of these resources below. I know that you enjoyed this chit chat with me today. I enjoyed you as well. Let me know in the comment box, what was your biggest aha moment? Because we talked a lot about mindset today. And then, of course, if you are not subscribed to this channel and you want more of this abundance talk, whether it's about mindset, whether it's about lifestyle, whether it's about business, or also you're a therapist, but it's just not for therapists, it's for abundant living and thinking, then I want to have you back. And so please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.